You thought macOS Tahoe Beta 4 had shown it all? Think again. Beta 5 is here, and it's packed with more surprises than you'd expect. Today, no fluff, just the facts. All the new features in macOS Tahoe Beta 5. Let's dive in. Liquid glass just got more contrast. Apple finally listened. It's no longer a pale, blurry layer of white. Sidebars, menus, and toolbars now stand out clearly against window backgrounds. It looks more alive, and it's easier to read, especially in light mode. A small change, but the whole interface feels more breathable. Apple has finally said goodbye to the hard drive icon we've seen for decades. In macOS Tahoe Beta 5, the Macintosh HD icon has been completely redesigned, now featuring a sleek, minimalist SSD look, smooth silver casing, rounded edges, and a subtle Apple logo at the center, all perfectly aligned with the design language of modern MacBooks and Mac Studio. It may seem like a small change, but it sends a clear message. macOS is no longer clinging to the past. This is a system built for the present, where spinning hard drives are history and solid-state speed is the new normal. In earlier betas, the Tahoe wallpaper was just a static image. Now in Beta 5, Apple has introduced a fully animated Tahoe screensaver with soft motion and subtle lighting shifts. It brings the lock screen to life, reflecting the real landscape of Lake Tahoe with added depth and atmosphere. Also in this update, 3 dynamic wallpapers: Tahoe Morning, Tahoe Evening, and Tahoe Night. Each one shows the same view at different times of day, changing automatically as time passes. They were introduced in Beta 4, but now they come preloaded and fully integrated by default in Beta 5. Apple has updated the look of system forms across macOS. The old thick borders and outdated spacing are gone. Now, input fields and sections use a flatter, cleaner layout with better colors and contrast. The entire Settings app feels more modern, more consistent, and easier to navigate, especially for accessibility. If you use Profiles in Safari, you'll now see a small profile icon right in the top toolbar. Before, you had to dig into the settings to check which profile was active. Now it's always visible, making it easier to switch between personal, work, or guest modes and avoid mixing things up. When editing the control center, you'll see that active icons like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth now show up in blue. Before, they were just white, even when turned on, which made it hard to tell what was active. Now the blue color gives instant visual feedback. Pinned icons in the main panel still appear white, at least for now. The sound section in System Settings has been redesigned. Input and output devices are now clearly separated and centered on the screen. The layout feels similar to what we saw in Sequoia, but with cleaner spacing and better alignment. It's a simple but useful upgrade for anyone who switches between different audio devices. When you use iPhone mirroring, there's now a new glyph icon that shows it's active. The old icon looked like a full phone outline. Now it's a simpler, more abstract shape that matches the clean style of macOS Tahoe. It's a small change, but it looks sharper and more modern. In the menu bar settings, the Reset button has a new name. It used to say Reset Menu Bar and Control Center. Now it simply says Reset Control Center, just like on iOS. Clearer, shorter, and more accurate. Finder now shows a new icon for AirDrop. It looks like a flipped version of the Find My icon, with a bold blue color and a triangular slice cut out. It stands out more, especially in dark mode, making AirDrop easier to spot in the sidebar. Disk utility has been visually refined. The awkward top border is gone, and the spacing between elements feels more balanced. It's a small change, but it makes the whole interface look cleaner and more professional. Several system apps now show updated splash screens when opened for the first time. Music introduces Automix and the option to pin songs to your library. Notes highlights features like Apple Watch call transcripts and Markdown support. Freeform opens with a prompt to start building and collaborating. Stocks shows a welcome screen with market data and business news. These new intros give each app a cleaner, more unified way to spotlight what's new. Apple has expanded the release notes with more detail. There are now 37 categories of resolved issues, up from 32 in the last beta. Known issues have grown to 26 categories, up from 25. This includes fixes for Apple Intelligence, Genmoji, and other beta features. It's a clear move toward more transparency in how Apple tracks and fixes bugs. macOS Tahoe Beta 5 may not introduce dramatic new features, but it brings a solid round of polish, performance tuning, and thoughtful design refinements. From updated icons and dynamic wallpapers to cleaner system settings and splash screens across key apps, this build continues Apple's steady push toward a more modern, unified macOS experience. With expanded release notes, better visual consistency, and improvements across both UI and usability, Beta 5 feels closer than ever to a final release. If this pace continues, macOS Tahoe 26 is shaping up to be one of the most refined and stable updates in recent years.